What's the Church of Scientology so afraid of?
This is SPTV.
Made you decide to leave?
It was just a whole lifetime of all sorts of abuses, physical, mental, controlling, being separated from my family, that, you know, eventually at some point I became somewhat aware of the outside world. Me and my husband actually lived in Australia for a year.
You met your husband. He was also a member of the church.
Yes, yes. And
a lifetime of all sorts of abuses, physical, mental. This is Jenna Miscavige, you guys, who was on the record, on the public record, since the corporate media has shown us that they do have an obsession, a personal obsession of theirs with David Miscavige. So here it is, Anderson Cooper, who supposedly used to care about what happened to kids in Scientology. Never mind that we have that account of my own personal experience with Mr. Cooper that we already got into and responded to. But here it is, Anderson Cooper pretending he really cares about child issues and speaking to Jenna Miscavige, the niece of David Miscavige, who happened to be, you guys, my student. Jenna was my student when I was there at the Fort Harrison Hotel, at Debbie Cook's Hotel from Hell that she ran. Jenna Miscavige was assigned to be my student. So she's talking about her plight, getting out of that hellhole and what happened. And we're contextualizing how that has been on the public record for literally over a decade now. And a single change has not taken place for children that are locked up in that hotel. So let's really contextualize that part right there.
we were on a church mission in Australia for a year, and we were sort of away from everything that I had been around my whole life. And I started to see how, like, you know, the outside world was completely different.
And just so that we highlight, underline, underscore, and circle in red a billion times over, since it's a point that keeps being trivialized, why are all these minors being dislocated all across the world? Why was Jenna Miscavige Hill, an American-born child, being sent all the way to Australia, to another country? Why did that happen, United States of America? And why is that not called child trafficking, United States of America? It's in y'all's dumb books about supposedly what child trafficking is all about. So why are you writing that child trafficking is dislocating, including but not limited to teenagers, to other places, to other countries, ending up in what in the literal hell was Jenna doing over there? Let's see if, Anderson Cooper pulls that string. Let's just check it out.
Yeah, and so going back, it was really hard to ignore some of the things that were just crazy.
Did you tell your parents? Did you talk to them saying that you wanted to leave? Or
when I was leaving, they were actually out of the church already, and they actually helped me to leave.
So they actually left before you?
Yes.
When they left, why did you stay in?
Yeah.
Apparently, you guys, Anderson Cooper never heard about the billion-year contract. Apparently, Anderson Cooper, you guys, never heard about children being considered adults in small bodies. Apparently, Anderson Cooper, the top-tier media investigative journalist of America, could not literally connect a dot that if we signed a billion-year contract ourselves as children, like Jenna did, like Astra Woodruff did, like I did, like Laura FM did, like all these minors that were made to sign that contract was between us and the executives, we were told. If our parents came and went, if our parents left us in that hotel, like it happened with Jenna, her parents were no longer in a position to say, oh, by the way, I do want to leave and break my billion-year contract like Biddy Miscavige did, like Ronnie Miscavige did. They both left and Jenna was left behind. So let's really underline this for this corporate media who, no matter how much access they get to victims, no matter how much they data mine, no matter how much they make a soul song and dance that they care about covering an issue, time and time and time again, we find out that they don't really care about covering an issue. They care about having access to people that had an issue that could make an interesting story that America would tune into their news segment, but they wouldn't ever even take it further. Because apparently even these photos of Jenna being a literal baby in a construction site raised not a shred of a flag to Anderson Cooper, you guys. Not a shred of a flag at all that her mom and her dad left her there and she left.
You know, because I mean, like I said, between when I was 6 till I was 12, I only saw them once a week. Well, from when I was 12 till I was 18, I only saw my mom twice.
From 12 to 18, you only saw your mom twice.
Yeah,
Being
2 times.
a mother, I can't imagine that.
Yeah.
Like I said, Jenna says, like she said in every last interview she did, like she said in her book, Beyond Belief, like she said and said and said over and over and over ad nauseum, but the corporate media only has attention for that talking point for less than 0.5 seconds, apparently. Because after Jenna already said that statement a million times, it continues to be trivialized. It continues to be taken out of context. These people continue to pretend that's just a very crazy allegation this girl is making. But you know what? We've never heard about that in court. So maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. Maybe it was true, but maybe she's just, lying here on national television, because I'm sure Jenna didn't have anything else better to do with her time than be wasting it with these reporters that really care about what is going on with kids. Right, Anderson Cooper?
I can't imagine that.
I know, me neither.
Yeah, I knew that. Yeah, now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and my dad only like 4 times, and several, like 2 of those times were less than an hour. And so by the time that they left, I hadn't been around them, and I had sort of created my friends there and everything I knew. And the idea of leaving was scary to me.
Yeah.
And
That's what it was for us, you guys. Everything in that hotel from hell was scary. Our parents were never any kind of heroes that could come to our rescue. Our parents pretended that that billion-year contract that we did sign, that is apparently extremely binding in America. We've yet to see something so binding as those contracts that children were made to sign. So yes, all the parents made their kids sign those contracts. And then, it was up to those kids to figure out the amount of debt they had as a result of having signed that contract. That was in that child's responsibility now to pay it back. The debt bondage was real. And so was this notion that children were adults in small bodies, given that Biddy Miscavige did hold an extremely high post at this pyramid scheme. Given that I knew Biddy Miscavige all too well, she was Debbie Cook Sr. for years at the FSO, she definitely spent a very long time there, Biddy Miscavige, at that FSO, finding out all manner of things, recruiting all manner of minors into the CMO that her and Angie Blankenship were running for years next to Jenny DeVock Linson. And yes, all these women, Jenna's mom and Debbie Cook and Jenny DeVock and Angie Blankenship, they all coordinated. They all conspired. They all went around acquiring minors to work at those hotels, to do construction. I mean, I was a child doing construction on Biddy's projects since she was in charge of renovations for years. I was one of those children in the RPF hole, the hole at the Fort Harrison in Clearwater. I was at the Hacienda renovating RTC's quarters because that's what I was doing in 1996. Hacienda needs to be renovated. We need to make it look nicer. So when we take pictures and we try to lure more people to come to live here, they really get a picture that looks very pretty. That's what this was all about. And yes, we can use slave minor, including but not limited to slave, child, slavery work to get this done, because why not? So all of these parents that were all about this, they're nowhere to be found on SPTV talking about anything yet. They're just apparently so under their radar, or they just really have moved on and don't want to talk about this because, you know, who in the hell wants to go talk about these disgusting things, right? Well, apparently us, the kids that were scammed, are still having to do y'all's heavy lifting. So shout out to, if you were a parent that signed up your kid to the Sea Org, shout out to you personally. Because it wasn't just Biddy Miscavige who signed up her daughter to be part of this. My parents did it too. Laura's parents did it too. Nora's parents did it too. And on and on and on. Gail Smith signed up Aaron Smith-Levin and Colin Smith-Levin. Because yes, these parents, as long as they saw the Joneses do it too, well, you know what? We should do it too, because we're all part of the same thing. And it was just the blind leading the more blind, leading the more deaf and blind and dumb. And on, the cycle of abuse and stupidity just continued to flourish and prosper, continue to get duplicated ad nauseum, with no one coming to their senses in this year 2023. All the disgusting stuff that we've been talking about continues to happen without anything changing, without anything getting rectified. Well, how is anything going to get rectified when not a single shred of responsibility has been taken? I mean, this is about as much responsibility as anyone has taken coming out of this hotel experience, you guys. Literally, here it is. The responsibility that's being taken by adults that did sign up their kids, by adults that did take executive positions, signing up kids to this at scale. So let's not wonder why this state-sanctioned horrendous hotel still is out there recruiting minors with full-blown impunity, because apparently all the executives that have managed to grab their two adult feet and walk out of the hotel haven't wanted to come back and set the record straight about what in the hell they got bamboozled, scammed. We don't give a shred of an F how they want to pitch. What they were all about as a collective of adults doing for themselves and why that was a great idea at the time. Why did it seem so grandiose? Why were those delusions of grandeur not popped? That's what we need to understand today, as of the year 2023. Let the past be the past. We're not stuck in the past. Let's all come to present time. Present time in this year 2023. Why in the hell has nothing changed? To all of you Scientology parents, whether you're still stuck in the hotel being part of it or you have left, we're not here to cradle you. We're not here to canoodle you. We're not here to continue to capitulate to your delusions, those false delusions that you fell under the spell of. They're being dispelled. They're being blasted, matter of fact, because you know what? We don't have to be reasonable with y'all, given that you are into abusing kids for yourselves at scale. Given that little tiny small fact, that as a collective of adults, you do need to be told this exact word. No. No, it's not okay you recruit kids. No, it's not okay you audit kids. No, it's not okay you give ethics handlings to kids. No, it's not okay you tell a kid that they were your, wife in another lifetime. No, it's not okay to tell a kid that they're tutti flowing you because they were your wife in another lifetime. No, it's not okay to use euphemisms to cover up reality. No, it's not okay to use BS terms that you found in a dictionary written by a convicted felon, no less. Okay, and if you are one of these parents in Scientology that hasn't realized that they were following the advice of a convicted felon, here's a term for y'all to clear very quick. GTS. Google that shit. Type it. Type it on Google. Was L. Ron Hubbard a convicted felon? See what Google tells you. And if you want to even be really modern about it, ask here. So you can even be more precise. Ask ChatGPT, was L. Ron Hubbard a convicted felon? Was he? Ask those questions, because all these parents that are running around pretending everything was fine, we have done nothing wrong, nothing has been proven in court, nobody has made any single problem, we made sure that all kids definitely sign contracts, so we are completely with our ass covered. Don't worry about anything, guys. That's what Marty Rathbun and Debbie Cook are saying today as they just cashed their latest check on their monthly installment program to keep their big, wide mouths shut. To play dumb for another month. To not want to incriminate themselves. Why would they? Why would that be in the best interest of Marty Rathbun or Debbie Cook? To have to come clean. After all these years, they spend pitching that to their hotel whatevers that were coming in. Clean hands, you guys. Clean hands gonna make your life so happy you have no idea. Is the type of stuff that Ann Rathbun, the wife of Marty Rathbun, was pitching ad nauseum at that Flagland base where she was DIG FLB. So it was Marty and his wife as a little team duo, the power couple. Those two went around telling everyone to clean their hands. But you know whose clans whose hands they don't want to clean? Their own. Because for these narcissists, they were willing to tell everyone else to clean their hands, but they wanted to have their hands dirty. That's what made them happy. That's what gave them a happy life. Dirty hands make a happy life, but they can just spit out platitudes to clean the hands of others. Right or wrong, Anne Rathbun, who also got time with Anderson Cooper in that whole segment about how, you know, David Miscavige was beating Marty Rathbun, and Rathbun came to the defense of David and said that, nope, Marty Rathbun couldn't have been more of a pathetic liar because he never had anything bad happen to him in that hotel. That's what those ex-wives came on the record to tell Anderson Cooper. So Google that interview as well, because that's a very good one for y'all to check out.
And so I stayed.
Obviously, a lot of people know a lot of celebrities are a member of this church. Why does the church attract so many celebrities, you think?
Why are you, Anderson Cooper, asking that of a child that spent her entire childhood locked up there? The same child that just a few minutes ago told you that she was getting acquiesced with the normal world once she was trafficked all the way to Australia. Why would you as a journalist take it to the celebrities and ask such dumb, superfluous questions that have nothing to do with contextualizing the issue, but have everything to do with making sure that each one of y'all's stupid so-called news segments check this box? Anytime you talk about Scientology, y'all are so pressed. Oh, did we mention the celebrities? Did we mention Tom Cruise was part of it? Did we mention all of these names that we want to talk about to make sure that people still continue to tune in? Because you know what? People in America won't care about Jenna Miscavige growing up in Scientology. That would just be something they wouldn't care less about. But you know what? They are going to want to find out why so many celebrities are joining it. Why is that? Why is that? That's so important that we ask these kids that were stuck in those hotels with not a shred of a clue of what in the hell was going on, given that we had not a shred of an idea that what we were a part of was so insidious, that what we were roped in to do was so disgusting, that what we were literally empowered to do was so horrific and so highly illegal. But yes, keep asking why celebrities were just also about this, Anderson. Just really do, please keep asking that question. If you ever touch this story with a 10-foot pole, if you're ever anywhere to be found to care, see if you continue to ask why celebrities are joining, or if you should be tailor-making your questions to actually investigate underneath the surface.
I mean, I think that a lot of the celebrities that are there were actually born into it, like, you know, Lisa Marie Presley or Erica Christensen and or Beck, those type of people. But I mean, I think that the church actually targets celebrities because they see that as a way to get Scientology out there and get more people in.
And that's right, you guys. A lot of these celebrities were born there, like Elizabeth Moss, to complete that list that Jenna was just rattling off. And don't forget, Riley Keough is also another celebrity that was born there. And to make this point yet again, for the 10th billion time, these celebrities are treated to slaves. Slaves such as myself, slaves such as Jenna, slaves such as any of us who didn't come from a Presley family. Any of us who didn't have any managers, Rabisi managers, to manage a career in Hollywood, we were separated to a different bucket. You're not a celebrity. You're not an actor. You're nothing. You just signed your billionaire contract. No one's going to miss you. Go and be that celebrity's pawn. Whatever we tell you to do, you go and do it, and it's your job, and don't you dare screw anything up, is what pretty much we were told. Those of us who had the complete and utter misfortune to have anything to do with celebrities. I mean, even I, as the supervisor of the late Lisa Marie Presley, she was a nightmare to have in my courtroom. She would go and complain to Elsie Tucker. Oh, Serge flunked me and he shouldn't have flunked me, and I'm pissed off at him now. And I would then become and get yelled at by RTC, yelled at by Elsie Tucker. Why did you make Lisa get mad? What are you doing? You're so off purpose. You're so out tech. I can't trust you with anything. Go wash dishes. Go do lower conditions. You're so out PR. We're never going to give you another celebrity. Look how mad she became. Now I have to handle your flap. I have to handle your problem. I have to bypass you. Is what one of these RTC proteges of Dave would tell me, because Lisa was mad that she couldn't pass a drill. One of those ridiculous, disgusting, nonsensical drills with a doll that they would have to do over and over and over and over. So these celebrities did grow up in there, and these celebrities did get used to the type of power they had, because, you know, they were considered some sort of special specimen that was being used to lure more people into the fraud.
Do you think the celebrities know kind of what goes on inside the C organization? Because the C organization, which again is that inner management group, I mean, you guys are like isolated out in a ranch area. I mean, you have a different compound.
I mean, again, Anderson Cooper couldn't be more stupid and couldn't get the facts straight if he was being literally paid to get his facts straight. Sea Org members were not stuck in a ranch, Anderson Cooper. Those were the miners. The miners like Laura. The miners like Sterling Tompkins. The miners like the Bad Cadet, Catherine Spellino. Those were Sina, another one that was a miner in a ranch. All of these miners were kept in ranches away from the parents so they wouldn't distract them from making money. The celebrities are not isolated from the miners. We just brought this up with Laura Prepon. At Celebrity Center, there were plenty of miners. Nora Kress was 18. Okay, so maybe she wasn't a minor under 18, but there were other minors at Celebrity Center that were even below the age of 18. So the celebrities were running around with all the minors. When I was around the Fort Harrison with Lisa Marie, I was a minor. I was a minor there when John Travolta was there. I was a minor all these other times. So yes, the celebrities know, and yes, these celebrities don't care. They purport that because all these minors, again, all these minors signed like this on a paper, then it doesn't count. It's not child trafficking. Just go ask Marisol Nichols if she considers any child who was working there in those hotels as slave, a child trafficking victim. And she'll tell you no, but they signed a contract. They did this. And you know what? All of a sudden, as soon as that minor grabbed that pen and grabbed that contract and wasn't of the age and couldn't understand a shred of what was being pitched to them, it all became highly legal and above water and amazing. So no, celebrities are not isolated from being serviced by kids, Anderson Cooper. Yes, celebrities have a front row seat at a ton of this dysfunction. The only thing that celebrities are being pamper-pooched about is they're not allowed to really see when we're being screamed at and yelled at because they make up a thing that we did that was wrong. Then you won't see it. If Jenna was being screamed at and yelled at by Elsie Tucker, or me being screamed at and yelled at by Elsie Tucker, they would have done that in an isolated room. They wouldn't let them see RTC screaming at a child. That's not what they want them to see. They want to keep that off their lines. That's what they call it. let's just keep that off their lines. They don't need to deal with this. This is not something that they need on their lines. Literally, that's what it's called. So just so you know, Anderson Cooper, you don't ask dumb questions like this ever again. Get all of that off of their lines. Take it all off. Don't make him see it. Don't make him deal with it. Don't CC them on it. Don't make it their problem. It's not their problem. The executives will handle it with the minors. So hopefully, Anderson Cooper, you guys, top journalist of this country, can start keeping his facts straight, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I think that, so that type of thing is sort of kept away from the celebrities to a degree. I mean, they never run across child laborers or things like that. But I mean, the information's out there. So I think if they don't know about it, it's like a sort of willful ignorance. And I think that any celebrity who lends their name to such an organization has the responsibility to know what they're supporting.
And there you go, guys. And I couldn't agree with Jenna any more. Any celebrity that is out there lending their name should be very aware what they are supporting. And there's plenty of celebrities in that celebrity center that were there right now, or they, again, grab their 21 and up, their adult selves out of the property and are out there running around with convenient senialism is what it's called. They're conveniently pretending to be senile and conveniently pretending that they didn't have supervisors that were minors like me, that they didn't have auditors that were minors like me, that they didn't have ethics officers that were doing the ethics on them like Astra Woodruff. So over and over and over, we have to say the same thing. We have to repeat ourselves ad nauseum because it's the year 2023 and not a single minor has been helped out of these horrific, disgusting hotels. And no matter that Jenna went on a whole tour, wrote a book called Beyond Belief, still, people are playing dumb. People are playing really, really dumb for God knows what in the hell reason. Because it makes no sense. Who is it benefiting at the end of the day, you guys? Please tell us. Please tell us who it is that gets benefiting from playing dumb, pretending that nothing's a problem, pretending everything has been trivialized, everything's just like whatever, America the free, the land of the free, to go get your freak on with a child in Clearwater or, California. Red and blue state issue is this child trafficking that takes place in hotels that celebrities frequent. And therefore, how could it be child trafficking if celebrities from Hollywood are going in there? Right or wrong? So we will continue exposing all of this ridiculous dysfunction. And we're going to continue asking questions until answers start to make sense. So this one went out again to Anderson Cooper, who has been on the story, who has gotten access to speak to literal kids, to the literal niece of the man who sits at the top of this pyramid scheme. And yet, despite that, cannot for the life of him ask any questions of relevance, and cannot for the life of him help himself to not ask sensationalist questions that have nothing to do with what type of experience we were having with these celebrities running around in our hotels, making us believe that, yeah, if Lisa Marie Presley, if David Miscavige, if all of these John Travoltas are running around, it couldn't be that we are being scammed. It couldn't be that this could be highly illegal. What in the hell we are being made to do by Debbie Cook and all her underlings? Right or wrong? Let's leave that question for Anderson Cooper, you guys. I'm sure that with all of his journalistic, investigative past, he can start thinking of better questions to ask next time you're doing a child story to do with an issue as unthinkable as this, Anderson. Because you couldn't have flubbed the story anymore if you tried, literally. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all very, very, very soon. Bye-bye.